All right, everyone, Phil here, and welcome back to DSP Reacts to the story of ProJared by June the King. This is part 3. If you didn't see the first 2 parts, I urge that you check them out because obviously you're going to have context. This is chronological order of what's going on here. Where we left off, basically ProJared has been accused of an insane amount of heinous stuff by both his wife and apparently others. He's been kicked out of his group, the Normal Boots group, and what they were doing is they were recapping how also JonTron had also previously been kicked out of the Normal Boots group, what he did. We're debating a little bit back and forth about that. What's worse, what JonTron said and did, or what Jared did? And everyone in my chat, at least, is saying what Jared did is way worse, like it's really boneheaded move. So there you have it. All right, thank you, Purple Pickle, for a super chat. Purple Pickle, just stop with the nonsense. There you go. Dark Viking says, if you become an ultra member of this channel, can you submit more than one video but have one guarantee that will be in the show? You can submit other videos, yes, but those aren't guaranteed. Like, you submit those in the regular thread. There's 2 threads, one for ultra members, one for regular members. They're talking about my DSP versus the internet show. It has nothing to do with this documentary. But okay, guys, if you have unrelated questions like that, if you could save them for after, we're going to do Q&A. I'd appreciate that. All right, let's get back on track. Part 3. ProJared's been kicked out of Normal Boots. Let's continue.
Chose not to defend him, but he didn't stay silent either. This is an April Fool's joke covering Madden, released less than a month after that infamous debate.
Oh, really?
People like me are supposed to listen to people like you chatter on about the suppression in Madden. It doesn't exist. I'm just trying to play the game as it was explained to me, which, for the record, was pretty much not at all. I'm just trying my best to defend my shitty yellow castle or whatever, and I keep getting all of these penalties called against me, which frankly is just unfair, because it's like the other teams keep getting away with stuff. The best Packers commit more penalties than the worst Vikings. That's a fact. Yeah, look it up. You know
wow. So in context of what we just heard, when this happened with JonTron, ProJared completely threw him under the bus. That is 1,000,000% throwing him under the bus. It wasn't even just like a jab. That was like completely condemning and making fun of what he did and basically calling him shitty, right? In other words, I mean, he's not outright saying that, but we want to talk about not backing up someone who you were a coworker of. That is the definition of just saying under the bus. Like, holy shit. Damn, he got destroyed there, right?
Where Jared pokes fun at his ex-friend and coworker.
I don't even call it poke fun. That's, in other words, without outright saying it, he's condemning him. He's saying what he said on that show was absolutely wrong. I don't agree with it, and even I make fun of him for having those uninformed opinions. That's what it sounds like he's saying to me. So,
as 2 years passed, with John regretting his decision and being mostly forgiven by the internet, what stopped?
What should kids do when their favorite YouTuber? What should parents do when their kids' favorite YouTuber is racist? YouTube star JonTron under fire for controversial comments on race and immigration. John DeFari, aka YouTube's JonTron, gives the gamers a bad name by being unabashedly racist. Longtime fans of YouTuber JonTron say they can't watch him anymore. Popular YouTuber JonTron has wild thoughts on immigration he'd like to share. Racist YouTuber JonTron is even more racist than people already thought he was, and he's dressed up like a Nazi. Wow. Here's the thing. He still makes content, no? Is he not still making a living? So what are these articles? These articles make it sound like he was completely and utterly canceled and is done and doesn't make content anymore. But I swear to God, he still makes content and he still has a loyal fan base and he's still making money, right? Am I wrong? So these articles are complete bullshit, right? Purple Pickle, thank you for the super chat, but stop with the nonsense. Stop derailing the stream, or I'm just going to kick you out. Thanks. Okay, let's continue.
And was most relevant now was Jared's betrayal. And with Jared not making many, if any at all, enemies in his time on YouTube,
True.
Besides Darkside Phil, who he previously poked fun at in the past, that was now reveling in Jared's fall.
Here it is. Here it is. So, now we can put this in context. Are you ready? Now we can put this in context. Here we go. Jared did a tweet about me in February 2016. Keep in mind, I had never said a negative word about this guy. I didn't know anything about him besides, you know, again, seeing him at Screw Attack Gaming Convention 2013. So I don't know why he would be doing this. But he makes a tweet in February 2016 about me. I took a wrong turn on the internet and ended up reading DSP hilarity. Haha, whoops. Okay. So when all his shit was going down, even he had a hashtag ProJared on Twitter. It was literally exploding on Twitter. All right. I did this tweet. Took a day off from the entire internet, but hashtag ProJared hilarity was at the top of everyone's Twitter feed. Haha, whoops. This tweet, this is May 9th, 2019, did not only get 404 likes and 144. This exploded. I had other YouTubers quote tweeting it, and Boogie said it was his favorite tweet of all time. So this blew up, absolutely blew up on Twitter. And this is how I got embroiled in this, where people were saying to me, oh, you see, you took jabs at ProJared and everything. I'm like, no, I didn't. All I literally did was quote tweeted him from his insulting tweet from 3 years ago, where I didn't even know who the hell the guy was, and just basically showed the internet, you know, watch what you're doing, because your dirty laundry will also get aired out, and then you'll look like an asshole when people come back at you, who you insulted in the past for no good reason. So there you go. That's my involvement. I didn't even know this would be in it, but there you go.
JonTron was probably the most fitting due to the tables being turned.
Ah.
So even though he was being egged on, John did not say much on what was happening. Others, specifically in ProJared's own subreddit, took it upon themselves to both ban ProJared's account from his own subreddit and change the theme of it to JonTron.
So they banned him from his subreddit on Reddit and turned it into a JonTron subreddit instead. Look at that. Wow.
The popularity of this subreddit increased tremendously following Jared's ongoing drama. The posts were largely just memes making fun of Jared and his adultery.
The internet and his wife beating the shit out of ProJared, ProJared's Reddit mods ignoring it and drinking wine. And then they joined in as well. Wow. What a great meme.
Among these typical posts, the most popular post was created by user ProJared Cheats on Wife, who uploaded a picture of Danny DeVito that got around 74,000 upvotes. To cover the ongoing drama and what made it so popular would be impossible to not mention the massive influx of posts, memes, and comments about Jared's appearance flooding over Twitter and now news on YouTube. As memes do, these range widely. There were
of all the things to say about the situation, his appearance is not the one that's valid at all. Literally, his appearance is not even a piece of the discussion. Yet, of course, that's what these idiots on the internet will make it about, right? Of all the things, I will not defend ProJared on any heinous actions that may be revealed in this documentary today that are proven to be false or true, whatever. I'm not going to defend him on I will defend him on his looks. It's not his fucking fault. People got to stop with this shit, all right? It's not his fault how he looks. He didn't make his face. Okay? People got to cut the shit out. Okay.
On the cheating, like this post, retranslating Jared's statement to what some saw as a more accurate one.
Wow.
This video, with relevant voiceover.
Oh hey, what's up?
Cheaters.
Wanna
Cheat.
I'm
Cheating.
live right now on
My wife.
Wow.
Cheating.
game.
Cheating.
Get smaller. It's a good time. There might be
Other people that are not my wife.
there may be familiar faces showing up.
We can't forget the biggest part of this, which was the discovery
Giving Metal Gear Rising a 4 out of 10 is the domino effect that started his social media suicide, according to this meme. What? Yes, I'm sure that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. Oh my god. Right. All right. So continuing on. Yikes.
of this controversy. People found out about this in many different ways because there was so much happening in a short amount of time. Whether you heard about it directly from Ground Zero at Heidi's first tweet, the countless news articles about him, the consistent stream of Jared's nudes flooding Twitter, the discovery of his secret nudes exchange Tumblr, or discovering it by other content creators discussing it. Everyone was bonded by a hatred of Jared, and with his actions easily
hating ProJared, people who don't know who ProJared is, people who know who ProJared is. Wow.
Perceived as horrible, there was no need to hold back on insults.
He's a Jad.
right, let's get back to the memes. So the biggest YouTube drama of 2019 is really over a dude that looks like this, huh?
This fucked up.
The fuck is
that
that
an
even
earthworm?
from?
That's
Jim?
what I mean. It's just I don't know.
He
It's
said,
so
"Who is that,
funny,
Earthworm
like,
Jim?"
normally
No, that's
you
not
wouldn't
Earthworm
feel
Jim.
comfortable.
So memeable. But I think the fact that he's just so strangely confident, but at the same time, probably one of the goofiest looking dudes of all
Yeah.
time. Like, I remember just casually looking at his channel once and seeing, because if you go to his channel, he puts that face
On everything.
in all of his.
Literally,
You
it's on
can't
every
find
piece
his
of
YouTube
content
channel
on his
with all the
channel.
drama.
His like June the King said in this documentary, he was one of the earliest people on YouTube to put his face on every thumbnail. People weren't doing that back then. He almost feels like he started the trend, right?
He puts this face in all of his thumbnails, and it just looks so ugh.
Can you imagine if he was any more famous? What it would do?
Right.
That's what happens with R. Kelly.
That's right. That's a great point.
Otherwise,
Wow, did you hear that? What she said? Can you imagine if he was any more famous what he would have done like R. Kelly? Like R. Kelly, who trafficked minors and committed heinous sexual acts against them. Wow. Holy shit, man.
I'm sitting back here and I'm asking myself, this guy literally had the Aragorn of a wife and then downgraded to a Smeagol. Like, take
Wow,
this into account. This is
Jesus
what we're dealing
Christ,
with right
man.
now. This is what he looks like.
What is
This
wrong
who
with
he
these
was
fucking
with.
people?
And
Out of the
then he
whole
downgraded
situation,
to
what?
that.
How is
It's
this
like,
the
wow,
pertinent
man,
topic?
are you-
How is this the pertinent fucking topic? No, I want to know. How is this pertinent to anything? Looks. Forget that it was cheating. Forget that he has a Tumblr of nudes where he's basically using his celebrity to have power over his fans that he should not have. Forget the allegations that some of these people are underage. It's looks. It's all about the looks, right? How are we ignoring the big issues that are the problems, and how does it get to looks? If anything, what this shows is that these people are fucking idiots. These people who focus on this dumb shit, they can't even see the topic for what it is. Is it wrong to cheat on your wife? Is it wrong to have abuse of your fans, right? Using your power for really heinous purposes, right? Yes, that should be the topic. Not, oh, everyone looks, we don't like how they look. You fucking idiots. Jesus, fuck, you guys are dumb. Every person who said that is a fucking mouth-drooling idiot. Wow, you're stupid. This guy, stupid.
Are you a clown? Are you dumb?
No, you're
Jared
stupid. You're the clown, you
is
fucking idiot.
quite the interesting
What
character.
a dunce.
And I say interesting in the fact that ProJared looks like a small waterfowl without any feathers. But I'll be damned if this motherfucker hasn't been throwing pictures of himself all over the
don't wanna
internet
see
fishing
this.
for bitches. And the funny thing is, you gotta give it to Jared. He thinks he's sexy.
If there was anything these commentators could not agree on, was the size of his genitals.
My God, what were you thinking, you goofy fuck? Why would you send your penis pictures out to women when it's that small?
All I know is that
What
Jared,
the fuck? Now we're talking about that? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Why? Why do these idiots? I mean, literally, you can separate the intelligent content creators from the dunces. You could do it right now. Anyone who brings that kind of shit up versus the actual moral issue at hand, right? I mean, talk about being a bunch of fucking idiots. Jeez.
I've seen Jared's penis. I mean, that's the only relevant.
How is it?
How is it?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's a normal penis.
A man cheating on his wife is extremely mundane. Yeah, but when it's ProJared and his dick is massive, it's not mundane anymore.
For those less vocal, there were other ways to withdraw support, like
The other thing that you could tell, obviously, if this is what everyone's talking about, it means that literally half the people didn't actually see the nudes anyway. They're just pretending like they did to talk about it and have drama in their videos. How can they all disagree? Oh, it's tiny. Oh, it's average. Oh, it's huge. No, none of you saw it. Not one of you. You're all lying. You're all idiots. All right? Anyway, Radical Jaws did a super chat. Congrats on hitting 50 members. We hit that earlier today. Actually, no, we hit it yesterday during DSP versus the Internet. Don't know if you got it last night or today. I'm glad you hit your goal. Have a great day. Yes, thank you, Radical Jaws. It was yesterday. Like I said today, given the amount of viewership we have today and the amount of engagement, I was actually hoping that maybe by the end of today, which was many hours away, we hit around 60. That would be amazing if we could. And again, guys, one of the great ways to support this channel is to become a member or maybe give some memberships. That would be great if you could. Thank you in advance to anyone who does. Thank you for that. Okay? All right. Let's continue. So, oh, wow. So he was over 1 million, and now, look, he's dumping his subs. His subs are leaving in droves, huh?
Subscribe to Jared and to anyone in support of him. Like longtime content creator friend Peanut Butter Gamer, that responded directly to Heidi's tweet and said, "It ain't it, chief." Followed up by, "Don't you think this is a bad idea?" Peanut Butter Gamer was one of the few that actually knew about the situation past the surface level. Regardless, in the public eye, he was defending an adulterous groomer with a vague statement that provides no information besides him stating his stance at the time. After increased hatred directed at him, he walked his statements back, saying it was hard for him to believe the accusations, hoping that more would come out and Jared would defend himself to any capacity. Few creators were wanting to hear Jared's side. Even if it felt like a clear-cut case of cheating, still, those vague tweets in opposition to Heidi netted Peanut Butter Gamer a 20,000 sub loss in 2 days.
Wow, so just for saying 2 tweets, he lost 20,000 subs on his channel. Look at that. He was over 2 million, and it pushed him back under 2 million subs on his channel for those 2 stupid tweets, which... I mean, he's in that friend group. He knows better than everyone else what's going on. Jeez, the internet is stupid, man.
This was only a fraction of what Jared was losing. As the week went by, Jared went from around 1 million subscribers to 800,000. Ex-fans celebrating his rapid sub loss by congratulating him on the new milestones.
Wow,
Others
what about
posted his
dicks?
golden play button being Thanos snapped out of existence.
Oh, man.
As for Commander Holly, the hate was getting so bad, she decided it was best to lock her Twitter account. Even on the Conspiracy Grumps Reddit, people were connecting the dots between Ross and Holly's divorce the year prior to Jared's ongoing scandal.
Thank you, Disco, for a super chat. Appreciate that. Says, I love the reacts. Thank you, Disco. Disco. There we go. Thank you.
After a plentiful amount of comparisons of Jared to fictional characters like this worm from the Danish movie Disco Worms, the chaos of Twitter trending was leaving Jared, not because there was a resolution of any sort, but he was effectively being saved by James Charles' own controversy. As it pulled
Wait a minute. Disco just super chatted, and it just didn't mention Disco Worms? What was the chance of that? Anyway. ProJared bad, James Charles bad, feed Reddit. ProJared bad, James Charles bad, ooh, too much spice for Reddit. Was this the same time that James Charles was always also getting canceled? And by the way, James Charles, I think, is still around. Does anyone actually get canceled? Did anyone actually get canceled and never came back? Like, it doesn't seem to make sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these people, oh, they're all horrible, but yet they're still successful. They still have businesses they're operating. So, Harvey Weinstein, oh, I guess that's true. Shane Dawson's been canceled like 14, 15 times, I think. Gordon Ramsay? No, I don't remember Gordon Ramsay being canceled. I don't know. Anyway, let's continue.
Coverage and hate from him around 48 hours since Jared posted his initial statement. Something that helped the drama die down was the lack of a response from Jared.
Right, he
or
never
Holly.
responded.
This also worked to hurt both of them significantly by not releasing a response. Jared seemed all the more guilty by not denying any accusations, even when those defending him were practically begging for a response.
So basically what he did is he completely did a whole shutdown. He stopped uploading, he stopped posting. I think he got a lawyer. I think it's what happened is he lawyered up, and the lawyer said to him, do nothing. Let this calm down. Let's get all of our evidence in order, even if it takes months, right? I think that's what happened. Let's find out, because I know he had a formal response.
Making the outcome worse for Jared. Heidi, on the other hand, was persistently tweeting, both mentioning updates on personal life and bringing to light how terrible of a person Jared was, saying she stood with all others that Jared manipulated, gaslit, and took advantage of.
Okay, real honest question now. All right, now this is the first piece of this documentary where I have to start questioning Heidi, okay? Here's where it begins. If you are a victim, all right, of horrible treatment from your husband, your whoever, and you reveal it to the internet because you feel like I need to get help, all right? That's one thing. If this is true, okay, then why does it now become a means to get over? You know what I'm saying? Like, if everything that she said from what she revealed to the internet in those initial posts was true, all right, then why didn't she just say, okay, thank you all for your help, goodbye? And now her social media goes back to just being a social media about her own private life. Instead, look at this. Here's all these tweets about, oh, look at this, survivors, look at this, look at this, look at that. It almost like she used it to propel herself into you know what I'm saying? How can I say it? She used a shitty opportunity, and instead of saying, okay, I exposed the wrongdoing, move on, dwell in the fact that she was in the wrongdoing, that she was a victim, and then get over because of it. Is there something wrong with that? I mean, I guess that's a subjective question, because everyone might answer that differently. To me, all right, I'll give you the perfect example about this, all right? I will. Sorry for making this about me, but I want to give you my perspective on it. You are watching my react on this documentary, correct? All the time, I have people who treat me like shit on the internet, okay? Whether it's just general people or haters or whatever. Now, here's what I've always said to you guys who like DSP Gaming, and now, hopefully, those of you who like DSPReacts. If you want to support me, all right, and my content, do it just for that reason, because you like me and or you like my content and you want to see it continue. I don't want anyone to ever come to my content and say, I support your content because your haters are jerks. So I'm doing this as a way to say neener, neener, neener to your haters and stick it to them. I don't want that kind of support. I'm sure I get it, and I can't help it if I get it. All right? I can't make someone not contribute because they want to stick it to a hater of mine. All right? But I want you to like me and my content for me and my content. All right? I want you to do it for the right reasons. Okay? When I see this, and it's like, okay, she got her story out, Jared's destroyed, his reputation's ruined, but then she continues. It continues now. Oh, look, survivors this, survivors that. Oh, I'm here to help. Oh, yes, and he's a terrible person. Oh, wait a minute. You already said all this. Why are we still harping on it? He's been canceled or whatever. Move on. But it seems like now, from what I'm being told in this documentary, she basically made, this is her persona now. I was the victim. Look at me. Now, subscribe to my content, right? Follow my social media. It's like, did she use this thing she said about Jared as a proponent for her own personal interests and career, maybe? Because she's a cosplayer. I don't know how much money she's making doing that. That's her full-time job or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems to me, and that's what June here is saying, because Jared stayed silent. She was the only one in the room talking, so you believe her. Now, how much did this propel her and help her, right? It's interesting to think that way, because I think a lot of people only see the one situation or the one side, but it's like, if truly you were abused, wouldn't you want to just say your piece, have that person face the repercussions, and then move on? Why are you dwelling in it? Because you're dwelling in it because it's helping you. That's ridiculous. If she were truly hurt, wouldn't she be so emotionally racked with how she was mistreated that she wouldn't be able to live with it, or she wants to move on and not talk about it? Instead, everything she's posted, oh yeah, I'm a survivor. I support other survivors. Yes, he's a terrible person. Yes, he did. It's done. It's on the internet. It's done. Like, why is it still continuing? You see? That's my take. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my subjective take on it, is if the whole thing were 100% as she said, sure, get the truth out there, get him canceled, but then that's it, move on. Not why is this now becoming who you are? Why does this become long-term manipulation for personal attention? Okay? All right, let's continue.
Tweets were progressively getting less and less interest, until Jared, 9 days after his initial post, finally responded with a lengthy apology of sorts.
Boy.
Jared really apologized to those that...
Let's read it. I'm deeply sorry to anyone who has seen the accusations, vitriol, or unwanted photos that my former partner Heidi and others have been posting online since last Wednesday, May 8th, 2019. The truth is, Heidi and my marriage has been in a bad place for some time. I never wanted any of those details to become public for both Heidi and my mental well-being, but they have, and the accusations being made now must be addressed. Here we go. A few years ago, Heidi asked me if we could be in an open, polyamorous marriage. Now, when were they married? Wasn't it 2014? So if this is 2019, he's saying probably around 2017. So they've been married for several years. And then she asked that question. I recognize now that this request and my willingness to go along with it was an unhealthy attempt to solve deeper issues that have developed within our marriage. Heidi has taken several casual partners and has been in a more serious relationship with another partner since 2017. Whether done to make her own actions feel justified or because she genuinely believed it would help me build self-esteem, Heidi suggested I also engage with other women. Heidi encouraged me to tell Holly that I was developing feelings for her. When I did, things changed with Heidi. She became angry and vindictive and did not want me to see or speak with Holly anymore. She called me a cheater and claimed that I was destroying our marriage because of my affair, even though she continued to have other relationships with other partners. I never wanted to destroy our marriage, and I spent months after that doing what I could to repair it through couples therapy and extensive individual therapy. Okay, taking this at face value. All right, let's take this at face value. We already took what Heidi said at face value and believed everything she said. This is the first countering to that. All right, let's assume everything that Jared just said is factually true. Okay, here we go. My response. I hope you guys like this one. Number one. A few years ago, Heidi asked me if we could be in an open polyamorous marriage. Goodbye. Not even further discussion. The moment someone says to you, hey, I'd like to be in an open marriage, our marriage is done, we're divorced, goodbye, get the fuck out of my house. Gone. Instantaneous, done. Because if you are in a situation where someone says that to you, that person does not want to be with you. You're with the wrong person. True marriage, from what I've experienced with my wife, is there's two people who get each other to the point where you don't ever want to be apart ever again. You want to be together for life. And when you marry, that is the act of marriage, is that you're saying to that person and legally to the world, this is a binding relationship forever. Okay? And if you are going to say, I want to be in a polyamorous relationship, you didn't even understand what you signed when you got married, what you were agreeing to. You were being irresponsible, you were being dishonest, and you are scumbag. Because you know what? It's divorce. Then divorce. It's either we're married or we're not. Not we're married and now all these other people are involved. That is absolutely positively the not understanding what marriage is. You are destroying what marriage is supposed to be, both legally and morally. And that is not a polyamorous relationship, is not a relationship. It's fucking around. It's not to be taken seriously, and you can never be in a serious, long-term polyamorous relationship, period. You can fool yourself into thinking it. That is not how it works, okay? It's just, you're not committed. There's no commitment there if you're in a polyamorous relationship, period. So this is complete bullshit. You're married with someone, and they go to you and they say, I want to be in another relationship. Okay, that's great. The other relationship is out the door right there. Bye. And oh, I was just kidding. Oh, I'm not. Bye. And that's the end of it. That's, and you know what? I hate to say, and again, we're trusting Jared's word in this statement. Okay? We're 1,000,000% trusting Jared's word. If this is actually what happened, if they were having marital issues, and then all of a sudden, in 2017, she says, I want to be in a polyamorous relationship. Here's what happened, okay? This is me speculating, okay? Jared is at the top of his YouTube career. He had his biggest year in 2015. He's probably making big bucks. He's got these collab opportunities with big groups like Game Grumps and others. He's got sponsorships. He's got partnerships. He's got money out the butt. He meets someone in 2014. During that time when he's up and up, everything is roses and rainbows and unicorns. Oh my God, there's a girl who's a cosplayer and she likes me and I've got the hots for her. Oh my God, let's get married. Let's do all that. So what it is, it's this steamroll effect of popularity and positivity. All he's seeing around him is sparkles, right? He can't see the reality of what's happening around him, okay? All he sees is everything's great, right? He's riding that wave. But then in reality, what happens is that it's actually not what he thought it was, okay? This is my take. This is pure speculation, all right? Here's what I think happened, and I could be wrong. This is just me guessing, and take it as that. I don't have any factual evidence of anything. she sees him and says, oh, here's a guy who's funny. Here's a guy who's popular. I like being with this guy, right? Let's be together. Let's get married. But she's not serious about it. She's like, hey, why not? If this works out, great. I hope this works out because he's rich. He's making all this money. Let me marry him, get with him, have a life together with him. But then, oh well, if it doesn't work out, we'll fix it later. Because she doesn't care because it's a better position for her, right? Now, I could be wrong. Maybe she was filthy rich, and this is not the case. But I'm just saying, as an outsider looking in at this situation, that's what it looks like to me, okay? He's at the height of his popularity. You know what I'm saying? And so jump on that train now, get in there now, get your hooks in them, and then if things don't work out, big deal. Get out of there later, right? I don't think that's the case with Jared. He was like, he actually loved this woman, and he married her, and there was no discussion of this polyamorous shit when they got married. It was years later, according to Jared. Again, we're trusting Jared's statement here, all right? So he goes into this expecting one thing. She's going into it with a completely different mindset, right? And that's fucked up. That's real fucked up, all right? Because here's the thing. Here's the truth about love and relationships. True love and relationships are based on when someone is at their absolute positive rock bottom. Not when they are at their best, but when they are at their absolute worst. If someone loves you when you are at the bottom of your existence, that person is someone who will love you forever. And that's what I have with my wife, Kat. Because when I met Kat, I was the whipping boy of the internet. I was laughed at. I was, the running joke. I'd already had my accident. People didn't like me, all right? I barely had a positive thing said about me on the internet. And at the same time, I was having financial problems. I was in the midst of having insane amounts of debt, in my name. I didn't know how I was going to pay it off. I was facing a potential bankruptcy. Things were going poorly for me. But that's when I met my wife, and basically she knew all of that going into our relationship. She understood that. And still, on top of all of that, she still wanted to be with me. She liked me for me. She loved me for me. Where she understood all those shortcomings, all those problems that she was getting into, and she made the active decision to say, I still want to be with you. And then we got married 2 years later. And, this has been, I've said to you guys, this has been the best time of my life. Because regardless of the fact that I am at the lowest end of me being a content creator, like I said, I'm a fringe content creator. I don't make mainstream content people gobble up. I don't make tons and tons of money on viral videos. You know what I'm saying? It's it's my personal life right now is at the highest it's ever been. Why? Because I'm with someone who actually loves me, right? This isn't someone who I met when I was at the height of my popularity. This wasn't someone who rode that wave of positivity, and then all of a sudden when things started to fall apart, realized this isn't what they wanted anymore. I've been there. Personally, I lived through it, all right? And I'm here to tell you, the woman who lives with me is the woman I want to be with for the rest of my life because she actually loves me, all right? And I'm so happy to have found that, and you have to understand why that's a life-changing thing to have. What an amazing positive thing it is. Idiots come on my streams all the time and they say fucked up things to me about, why don't you want to play a video game and flirt with the character in the game? Why don't you want to have a waifu? Why don't you like the sexual content that's in this game? Because I'm in a hugely happy, committed marriage with a woman who I want to be with for the rest of my life. I don't have a thought in my head about anything like that. I don't. And I think what it is, a lot of people don't have that and they don't get it. So they can't understand what it's like to be in a relationship like that. They can't even fathom that, well, I'm married, but great, I like to fuck around, fantasizing about girls in video games and lusting over them. All right? If that's you, you don't have what I have. You probably should have it. And you don't. Okay? And that's sad. So many people that I see on the internet. I just the other day, You know, oh, they announced new characters for Street Fighter 6, and I see people putting fucking, like, turn their faces into cartoons, like they're drooling over Cammy stretching. You're fucking married! You fucking loser! Jesus Christ! Do you not understand that when you got married, you're not supposed to even care about that shit anymore? But that's what I mean. People don't understand what marriage is. They jump into it. And then they don't understand the commitment they made, what it's supposed to mean. Those thoughts are supposed to end when you marry someone. You're not supposed to have lustful, fucked up thoughts about other people. If you're in the relationship with someone who you married and that's going away, you don't have those feelings for them anymore, end the marriage and move on. Stop pretending like everything's okay. The moment that someone says polyamorous is the moment that has ended. That relationship is done. You understand? And this is so beyond fucked, right? So just, again, going through what he said here, let's go back to the full screen here. Okay? So, I recognize now this request and my willingness to go along with it was an unhealthy attempt to solve deeper issues that had developed within our marriage. How did you think including other people sexually in your relationship was going to solve the problems with your married partner? How? Don't get that. Heidi has taken several casual partners and has been in a more serious relationship with another partner since 2017. Divorce. Just divorce her. Whether done to make her own actions feel justified or because she genuinely believed it would help me build self-esteem, Heidi suggested I engage with other women. Divorce. If my wife right now said, you know, I really wish you would go out with other women, divorce. It's done. No, there's no middle ground. There's no talking it out. If you suggested that person does not want to be with you in the way that you should be if you're married. Period. And it's just going to lead to worse things. All you're doing is you're trying to cope with the fact that you made a huge mistake. That's all it is. That person's never going to, oh, I'm tired of sleeping around now. I want to be back with you. What? What are you talking about? If anything, what it sounds like to me, and again, this is speculation, I could be wrong. Jared thought that Heidi really loved him. She did not, or at least she thought she did for a while, and then realized after a time she did not. And basically, he felt that if he did have a divorce, right, that was going to be the end of everything. Like, everything. His happiness, his finances. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the other thing, too. Let's be honest here. He's at the height of his popularity, all right, when they got married and actually increased his income for several years. It wasn't until 2016, 2017 when he's tapering off, okay? Isn't it funny? Is it not funny? Are you ready? Is it not funny that in 2017, right, when the announcement is made about that, well, I take that back. It wasn't a 2017 announcement. It was June the King was looking at the charts. And he says, look at 2017. That's actually when things started declining for ProJared on his channels, correct? Right? Right? So, isn't it funny that in 2017 is when Heidi presents to him, oh, let's have an open relationship. This isn't working. Wait, what? There's the direct correlation. He's not as popular anymore. He's on the decline. He's not Mr. Money. Oops, I want to go sleep with other people. Like, huh? That's kind of a weird correlation to me. 2017, both those things happened at exactly the same time. You see what I'm saying? And again, true love is someone who's going to be with you through your highs and lows. Your highest highs and your lowest lows. They will stay with you during the lows. You understand? And that's exactly what happened. It sounds to me like what happened was they got together when things were great. And then when things started to hit a rough patch, that was the end. It was... and that's messed up, you know? Again, if this is true, because will we ever truly know? I don't know. We're going to continue on with the doc. I don't know what else this documentary will reveal. But from his take, which I would say probably the truth is probably somewhere along the middle, you know, it sounds to me like they rushed into marriage, should not have. Right? They never should have rushed into that situation because they weren't ready. They didn't understand that the relationship they had wasn't love. or maybe again he thought it was. She didn't even understand it, right? And basically she made out being his wife for years and years, and then again when that was not able to be continued, that's when it fell apart, right? So it seems like with me, right? So there you go. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's speculation based on what I'm seeing. Okay? So, he's flipping it on its head. He's saying, no, you have to understand something. Everything she just said is a lie. I didn't cheat on her. She was cheating on me first, and then she urged me to cheat with this girl, Holly. I did, and then when I did cheat with her, she's calling me out and acting like we didn't even agree to it, right? So she wants her cake, and she wants to eat her cake too, but then he can't do the same thing. She gets everything, he gets nothing in this relationship, essentially. All right? But what this isn't addressing is the Tumblr. So let's continue and see if this addresses that, because that's kind of crazy.
Saw the many lewd photos of him floating around the internet. He also dropped the bombshell that he was in an open relationship with Heidi, suggested by Heidi,
it doesn't exist,
who according to Jared had several casual partners and a more serious partner since 2017, to where she encouraged Jared to engage with other women, specifically Holly. But things got too serious between him and Commander Holly, which made Heidi angry as she now wanted to return back to a monogamous relationship.
And that's bullshit too. No, they weren't going to return to a monogamous relationship. She wanted to keep what she had and then also wanted him for herself.
Next page, he goes against the dominant...
Okay. Those close to me have witnessed Heidi's behavior towards me on many occasions and have begged me to leave for some time. I was many things during this time, including embarrassed, scared, and broken, but I was never the abuser. I made several attempts to leave starting in October of 2018. Each time she refused to let it happen, threatening to destroy my career and to harm others if I left. So, leave anyway. You threatened me. Great. Bye. Why would you not leave? Despite all of this, I tried to end things amicably. I helped Heidi find a new place to live and paid the initial deposits. I bought her a car to facilitate her independence. I formally filed for divorce on May 13, 2019, and have instructed my attorneys to make sure she receives her fair share of what I earned while we were together. I genuinely never wanted any of this to happen, but I finally realized that I have no other choice. Even though I've been tempted to put information out online that shows my side of the story, I don't want to further stoke the fires of what should be a private matter between us. My hope is that both of us continue to pursue therapy and come out of this unfortunate situation better people. I want everyone to know that any other interactions I may have had with any other women were known to, encouraged by Heidi, and were had with only the purest and lawful intentions. I am sorry to everyone that I've disappointed. I realize this as a public figure. I am held to a higher standard. I've made my share of mistakes, but I've only ever tried to do what's best for Heidi and me. Sadly, this does not address anything about that Tumblr. It just doesn't. Like, that Tumblr, you know, it really makes him look bad. The whole Holly thing is one thing, but the Tumblr says something else. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Narrative, stating that he was never the abuser. And with the encouragement of his friends, Jared worked up the courage to try to leave Holly by October 2018. Each time, according to Jared, she threatened to destroy his career. In a show of good faith and understanding, because she was financially dependent on him, he helped her look for a new...
So that whole story about her being rich and not caring about the money goes right out the window. She was 100% financially dependent on him. Kind of goes in line with what I said, doesn't it?
Apartment and bought her a car. He then goes on to say that he officially filed for divorce 4 days ago on the 13th during the downtrend of the drama. His excuse for his over week-long silence is that he didn't want to feed the drama as he wanted it to remain a private matter, ending by saying he only tried to do what was best for him and Heidi. Almost immediately, Heidi responded by stating his statement was full of misdirection and lies.
I already seen screenshots of Jared's latest statements. Just count the number of times he says Heidi compared to addressing his actions. I'm shocked he's even still trying. This is full of misdirection and lies.
And while she now confirmed...
Hold on. Moderators, if you keep an eye on this person who keeps coming in and doing stupid shit, I'd appreciate if you could ban them. Thank you.
...that they were in a polyamorous relationship, a key piece of information that Heidi withheld that would have changed the narrative entirely if she was forthcoming with it since the beginning.
Yeah, why did she not say that at first? Right? Making it seem like he was just outright cheating, when now she's actively admitting that they were being polyamorous. See that?
She says that she withdrew consent for it when she found Jared was not being fully transparent about his relationship with Holly. It was clear now that transparency was a major issue, not just in relevance to Jared's relationship with Commander Holly, but the building contradictions and withholding of information Heidi was increasingly responsible of.
Yeah, because here she's saying, Holly is the reason our open relationship didn't work. She told Jared that she only had feelings for him despite being married at the time, and my response was, holy shit, absolutely not. So now she's trying to spin it. If we were all just sleeping around, that would have worked, but now he's falling in love with someone else, and they're falling in love with him, and that's not what we agreed to. Thank you, SG Chargers, for Super Chat. He says, June actually has a really good documentary about Ice Poseidon on his channel as well. Oh, I don't know much about Ice Poseidon. Again, just what you guys have told me over the years about him being an IRL streamer who basically gets into trouble no matter where he goes. Maybe we'll check that out someday. That's something we'll discuss later today when we start talking about the next big project, okay? Okay, cool. Thank you.
She then goes on to criticize Jared for bringing more attention to something that in his statement said he didn't want to do, and Heidi herself, in a long list of tweets, continued to mention, and that is how she just wanted things to die down.
That doesn't make sense. She wants things to die down, but she's the one who has actually been tweeting all week about it, right? Like, literally, everyone was, she was tweeting, she kept talking about it. She didn't just make a statement and disappear. She made a statement and then continuously kept talking on it and benefiting from it, which is what I said. That's what doesn't seem to make sense here.
Saying she would follow his lead if he stopped tweeting. But it wasn't Jared that further antagonized a response. It was in part people asking questions and her trying to cover her bases, which is something that Jared was failing to do at every turn. It was also Commander Holly when back on Twitter, she posted, quote, "For the past year, I've been trying to help someone I care about leave an abusive relationship. I'm telling my story with receipts I can legally share, with no hate and no vindictiveness. I just need to bring the truth to light regarding Heidi and ProJared," unquote. Holly continues by starting a lengthy tweet thread where she explains her absence because she was in hospital due to self-harming thoughts, then leads on to her belief that it was not okay for Jared to exchange nudes with fans. However, she states that she had evidence to prove that Jared did confirm the ages and consent of those he exchanged nudes with, challenging...
So, I want to make it clear, I do not approve of any influencer exchanging nudes with fans. The behavior is an abuse of power and is never okay. ProJared made poor decisions. That said, I've seen relevant receipts with proof ProJared confirmed the consent of ages of those individuals he interacted with. Why do you want to be with him if he outright did things you disagree with? She says she thinks it's morally wrong. And she knows it's an abuse of power. So why do you want to be with him then? Anyway.
The accusations of Chai and Charlie that they initially staked claims against. As for Heidi, there are many words here, but only a few matter to us. Like these, where Commander Holly provides a screenshot of a text message showing Heidi giving full permission to Jared to do anything he wants.
Wow. It makes it easier for you. I will quietly go to bed without interrupting. I'm only trying to help, not upset in the least. I've actually been super productive tonight. Also rooting for you. You have full permission to do anything you want. You decide to stay in the guest room. That doesn't mean you have to bang or anything. I thought, Jesus. You'd be the type to do it right away, but you know better than me. I'm fine. We'll continue to be fine. Jesus Christ.
With Commander Holly. But according to Commander Holly, they were getting emotionally close, which largely bothered Heidi and brought on attempts to separate them.
What did you think would happen? Again, this is why polyamorous relationships aren't real. This can never happen. Literally, this can never happen. You cannot be in a working polyamorous relationship. It doesn't exist. Okay? The moment you're sleeping with someone else, you already are having an emotional connection with that person, and that's the end of it.
She then posts other text messages from the perspective of Jared. And here, his ex-wife is in a clearly agitated state.
Ready to go down with the ship? I cannot live like this. Sorry I can't talk on the phone around people and trying to figure out flights and carry food. Okay, I'm falling apart. My phone is at 16%. Cool, fuck me. Wish I could destroy dice camera action. That would feel so good. That would suck for you, but it would be unfair. Okay, I don't know. I sound really cruel right now, but this is the result of weeks of suffering. I'd love to see someone who caused the situation experience a fraction of what I've been feeling. What? What does this even mean?
Making a threat to not only sabotage their D&D game, but also destroy everything Jared has built up.
What the fuck?
But it'd be better than dealing with the...
Please allow talks to happen. You're right. This has gone on too long. She probably wasn't going to do shit.
Frustration that is destroying her, and these threats continued. Two major perspectives are taken. One is that Heidi is mentally unwell for casting such threats that she actually went through with Jared, but other...
No, she was already unwell the moment that she suggested the polyamorous relationship. That was the sign that she didn't know what she was getting into with the marriage. She wasn't serious. She was untrustworthy. She, you know, everything. That's the sign. Bye. Jeez.
Others, very much in her defense, are stating that this state of mind was caused by the desperation that came with living with ProJared. Some extend this forgiveness to her other behaviors that barred alleged witnesses, like screaming at Jared at parties, conventions.
She would not take accusations of abuse lightly ever. There's an abusive relationship towards Jared. I think any level of investigation would reveal that, and I hate to put them through that, but I think it'd be welcoming and revealing. Okay.
Complaints at his own house. A new piece of important information now is that it turns out Jared was not the first one to post about their divorce.
Really?
It was Heidi that announced it a day prior on Facebook.
What?
In this very lengthy post, she states outright that Jared was cheating, lying, gaslighting her, and was her abuser, saying that it was the single most devastating experience of her life.
What the hell?
Promising a more public and potentially equally as accusatory announcement. Which is when Jared posted his announcement and Heidi took control.
So the thing is, no one was really caring or following her Facebook, so no one even knew that she had announced it first, and it was a very inflammatory post. Wow.
Later reveling on Facebook at the public execution of Jared. This shifted the tide slightly against Heidi, but overall...
Whoa. One of my super irrelevant Ghost of Christmas Past ex-boyfriends watched me publicly execute Jared. Still thought he had an opening to send me a lame, poetic, fake, heartfelt message, like we're going to have a nostalgic reconnection. We dated when I was 17. My private response to opening the message was, damn, I remember this guy cheating on me too. My direct response to him was, do I learn to stop taking bullshit from condescending men? Goodbye. Do you not see what I'm saying here? Look at this statement. She makes a statement that she publicly executed Jared. She's touting it like it's some kind of an amazing thing that she did. And then she said, oh, here's someone else who abused me too. Like, she's totally using this situation as a way to promote herself as some kind of a positive hero on the internet. This is not someone who actually was in that situation and needed help and wanted to get out. This is someone who is trying to make out from the situation. There's a complete difference here.
It just added more to the confusing mess that was this she said, he said situation that continually got less and less and less interest. One thing was certain. Heidi was getting caught in more lies. It was not her that filed for divorce. It was Jared 5 days after she made the post who officially filed for the divorce. As for the other claims and narratives floating around, Heidi was excellent at responding immediately, showing her side of text messages with Commander Holly, where she was previously, a little over a year ago, crumbled when Heidi confronted her on this abuser narrative, and Commander Holly agreed it was right for Heidi to act the way she was acting. And the information about Heidi's boyfriend was that he was long distance, and she eventually broke it off and tried to go back to a monogamous relationship with Jared, even though he wasn't following the rules by not being completely forthcoming.
As far as my supposed long-term boyfriend goes, she is assuming a lot. During that time, Jared and I explored polyamory. I was long-distance messaging someone in another state. I ended that myself when I told Jared I needed to ask him for monogamy after he'd broken my trust. So again, here's another thing, okay? If you're married, sorry everyone out there who's married and doesn't understand what it means. It means that you make sacrifices so you can be together. It doesn't mean I'm married, so now I leave. No. When you marry someone, now you're in a committed relationship with that person, and now you need to actually be with that person and live with them and have life with them. We got married and immediately we split up and went off our separate ways to have our own lives and careers. And when we see each other twice a year, you're not married. That's not marriage. Maybe you legally married, but you're not morally or mentally married. You're supposed to be together. Life now is a shared experience for the rest of your life. It is not, I have my career one way where I see you only 2 months out of the year because I'm so busy. That's bullshit. So why are you having a situation where you're married and you don't even see each other, you don't spend time with each other? Oh, we need to see other people because we're not even with each other. Like, what are you talking about? That's not marriage. So again, doesn't sound like they knew what the hell they were doing.
With information involving Commander Holly. If you are confused about the situation, that's alright. That was many people's state of mind due to all these statements coming out and the confusion about what's actually going on. To recap their relationship, it started off as monogamous. It was failing, so Heidi requested a polyamorous relationship, to which Jared agreed. Jared and Commander Holly were getting close, which was okay with Heidi. Problems arose when Jared wasn't forthcoming with his feelings or sharing the text messages between him and Commander Holly with Heidi. This made her frustrated as it continued to happen, not to mention she found out Holly and Ross were not in an open relationship like them, which is when she cut off her existing relationships and requested to go back to a monogamous relationship, which is where Commander Holly and Jared continue to see each other and is where she deemed it cheating, through Jared's continued deception and lies combined with a very cold approach to her. This eventually led to the massive drama we saw unfold. And this, along with the many other accusations against Jared, was the narrative. It was what stuck in a few people's minds that went through and followed the unraveling chaos until an abrupt end by late May where it all died down. There were a few tweets from Heidi here and there answering questions about the situation. That much still could not be said about Jared, who took the fallout of it all. Even after losing a quarter of his subscribers and support from the majority of the internet, there were still no updates on his social medias. This changed August 27th.
All right. This is a good place to split because number one, we just hit the hour mark, or we're about to. And number two, actually, my food's about to arrive. So this is actually a really good place. Now, I will address one thing because a couple people in the chat said, well, what about military relationships? Oh, you see, that's different. In a military relationship, those people are not actively choosing to be apart. That is a absolute 1,000,000% requirement. You get deployed. And let's be honest, military relationships are probably some of the hardest ones you can have because you're forced to be apart. If anything, I will say this. People who are in the armed forces, all right, have to be absolutely positively praised and respected for what they do. They are sacrificing everything for the country that they're serving. And that is one of the major problems. A family could be really hard to maintain and could even fall apart if you're not there with the person. Do you really think someone who's in the military wants to be away from their family? No. But that's what they have to do. All right? In this case, these people had their own careers going. They decided to actively get married. They knew probably their careers were going to go in these directions. So why'd you get married? Right? That doesn't make any sense. Military is very different. And military, I mean, again, they get nothing but respect from me if you can make that work, because you know how hard that must be, and you don't want that. You didn't actively choose that. That's just something that's a result of, you know, being in the military. And does that mean military people should not be able to get married and be happy? Absolutely not. But hey, at least, you know, make it work. And if you can, holy shit, you deserve everyone's respect, right? Okay, guys, 3 parts down, likely 1 to 2 more parts to go. There's still a half an hour left in this documentary. I told you these reacts are long. So let's split the part. What I would like to do is personally thank everyone here live on stream. We got a great audience today, a good amount of engagement and support. Thank you for that. For those who are continuously watching this on demand here on DSP Reacts, thank you. Remember, liking the videos, leaving comments. I'm sure there's going to be a ridiculous amount of comments on this part about this. This was the big bombshell part where I know there's going to be disagreement on the internet about this. That's fine. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Please leave comments. Let me know what you think. And again, if you could support this channel in any way, whether becoming a member, you know, a tip, a super thanks, thank you so much. Same goes for those here live. Thank you for that. Let's split the part, and I'll come back with more. Thank you all for watching.